My name is Tammy, and I am a small business owner in the DFW area, and also I've been a salesperson for the past 40 plus years. And I have some helpful tips I'd like to share with you. In one way or another, we all sell ourselves every day in daily life. Nothing happens until something is sold. So one of the most important things is to be a good listener. And a lot of times as salespeople, we're so busy talking that we're not listening as much as we should be. I recall a time I got a new client and he had multiple locations, and I was so busy talking, and I'd already sold him, but I was still talking that I missed that he had different locations. And the next day I sent them to the wrong location. So that happened. Be persistent, don't give up. I remember this client I had made 15 sales calls on him. And one day out of the blue, he calls me. And I said, why now, after all this time? And he said, you were so determined to get my business, I could not resist calling you. Value the customer's time. Think of it this way, the customer has carved out that amount of time just to set aside for you. Be on time. Get the most said in that time lot. I remember a time when this client was always late. I'd break my neck to get there, and she would be 30 minutes late, leave us waiting. One time she was interviewing Santa Clauses for Christmas, and crying out loud, I was sitting here trying to get her people. She's interviewing Santa Clauses. So I just never, and I never cancel appointments, ever. That's so important. Selling is still a numbers game. During my early years, I would make 25 calls every day. The general manager said, you have to make that many calls. And I remember I turned in my call sheets to him, and I'd only made 23. And he says, what happened to the other 2 calls? And I said, well, it was 5 o'clock, they were closing. He said, well, that's 2 other sales you could have made, Tammy. So to this day, I still make 10 calls in the morning and 10 calls in the afternoon, because the more face-to-face contact you have, the better you will have at achieving more sales. Remember to ask for the business. This is really important. And I don't mean high pressure sales. I cannot stand it when I go into a department store and the salesperson follows you around and hounds you to buy something. But you've built up a rapport with this person and they like you, you go ahead and say, hey, why not give us a try tomorrow? What have you got to lose? A lot of times we don't do that, and it takes longer to get the order. We just need to remember to ask for the business. It's just so important. I remember a client that I kept calling on him, and finally one day I said, hey, why don't you try us out tomorrow? He said, okay, tomorrow it is. Send me so-and-so people. So it worked great. Well, I hope these tips have been helpful to you. They've helped me in my 40 plus years, and I will continue to find other things to share with you. And I thank you so much for your time today.